California needs 2.5 million new homes just to meet current demand. But in these 10 cities, the laws designed to protect communities are actually destroying them. Teachers can't afford to live where they teach. Nurses commute 3 hours to reach hospitals. Firefighters are being priced out of the neighborhoods they protect. This isn't about market forces or construction costs. This is about housing laws that sound reasonable on paper, but create devastating consequences for working families in practice. Environmental protection laws that block housing for teachers. Affordable housing requirements that make all housing less affordable. And zoning laws that preserve neighborhood character by eliminating neighborhoods entirely. These 10 California cities represent the epicenter of policy-driven housing destruction. Places where good intentions have paved the road to housing hell, where every attempt to help working families has made their lives worse. Tonight, we reveal how specific housing laws are systematically destroying these communities, and why every proposed solution somehow makes the problem even more brutal for the people it's supposed to help. Stay until the end, because understanding how housing laws destroy communities isn't just about these 10 cities. It's about how government power gets captured by the wealthy to eliminate economic competition. And what happens when helping people becomes a way to hurt them. Let's begin with San Francisco. San Francisco has the strictest environmental protection laws in California, and they're creating an environmental disaster. The city that pioneered green politics is using environmental laws to block dense, transit-oriented housing that would actually help the environment. Here's the insane math. San Francisco forces 120,000 workers to commute from distant counties because environmental laws make building housing near jobs illegal. Those commuters burn 45 million gallons of gasoline annually, emissions that could be eliminated by allowing housing construction. A 40-unit housing project for teachers near downtown faced 3 separate environmental lawsuits. The complaints? Noise impacts, traffic concerns, and threats to air quality. Building homes for teachers was treated as environmental destruction. The lawsuits took 4 years and cost $2.8 million in legal fees before construction could begin. By completion, the affordable teacher housing cost $750,000 per unit. Teachers still can't afford housing designed for teachers. San Francisco's environmental laws have become weapons for wealthy neighborhoods to block housing. They use pollution concerns to prevent apartment buildings while ignoring the massive pollution created by forcing people to commute 100+ miles daily. If environmental law abuse continues, San Francisco faces complete green policy collapse over the next decade. Imagine a city that destroys the environment in the name of protecting it, where climate activists create more emissions by blocking dense housing than oil companies create by drilling. Picture a city where affordable housing policies eliminate affordability for everyone, except the people wealthy enough to ignore prices entirely. That is exactly what you find in Berkeley. Before you conclude, please hear me out. Berkeley requires developers to make 20% of new units affordable for middle-income residents. Sounds progressive? Those costs get spread across all units, making market-rate housing so expensive that middle-income residents can't afford anything. Here's how the affordable housing scam works. Developers must sell units for $400,000 below market rate. But construction costs don't disappear. They get added to the remaining 80% of units. Every affordable unit makes 4 market-rate units more expensive. The math is brutal. If affordable housing requirements add $100,000 to market-rate units, then middle-class families pay extra to subsidize housing they don't qualify for. The policy designed to help working families prices working families out. UC Berkeley employees now commute from Tracy and Stockton because inclusionary housing requirements made Berkeley unaffordable for university workers. The progressive city that created affordable housing policies can't house its own professors. A recent 60-unit project included 12 affordable units costing $650,000 each. The remaining 48 market-rate units cost $980,000 each to cover the affordable housing subsidy. Berkeley's affordability solution created more unaffordability. Palo Alto sits in the heart of Silicon Valley, with 94% of residential land zoned exclusively for single-family homes. In the world's most expensive region, building apartments is literally illegal on most land. Picture a city where only retirees and trust fund babies can afford homes, while everyone who actually works commutes from 3 counties away. That is exactly what Palo Alto represents. Tech workers earning $200,000 can't afford Palo Alto homes because zoning laws limit supply to detached houses on large lots. If you can only build one home per lot, and lots cost $1.2 million, every home automatically costs $2+ million. The zoning laws aren't about preserving character, they're about preserving wealth. Single-family zoning was created to exclude working-class families, and it's working perfectly a century later. Stanford University can't house its own faculty because Palo Alto zoning makes faculty housing illegal. The world's leading university operates in a city where building homes for professors violates zoning codes. City council meetings feature residents arguing that apartment buildings would destroy community character, while ignoring that their zoning laws have already destroyed community by making it unaffordable for teachers, firefighters, and nurses. Santa Monica recently passed emergency zoning laws, allowing 20 units on single-family lots. The emergency? Housing laws had made housing so expensive that essential workers couldn't afford to live there. But here's the twist. Even emergency zoning produces emergency pricing. New, affordable units cost $800,000 for 900 square feet, because emergency laws don't address the underlying costs created by other housing laws. Emergency zoning meets environmental review requirements, affordable housing mandates, impact fees, permitting delays, and architectural review processes. By the time emergency housing gets built, it's no longer affordable for the emergency it was designed to solve. Teachers and firefighters earning $85,000 still can't afford Santa Monica's emergency housing designed for teachers and firefighters earning $85,000. Emergency solutions create emergency problems. The City Council called opposition to emergency zoning racist, while ignoring that emergency zoning still produces housing too expensive for the communities it claims to serve. Los Angeles requires new developments to include affordable units, or pay-in-lieu fees to fund affordable housing elsewhere. Either choice makes housing less affordable for working families. Developers who build affordable units on-site spread those costs across market-rate units, making them more expensive. Developers who pay in-lieu fees pass those costs to buyers as higher prices. Every affordable housing option makes housing less affordable. The in-lieu fees range from $200,000 to $400,000 per market-rate unit. Families buying homes in LA pay an extra $300,000 plus to subsidize affordable housing they don't qualify for and will never live in. LA's Affordable Housing Fund has collected over $2 billion in in-lieu fees, but produced fewer than 15,000 affordable units. That's $133,000 per affordable unit before construction even begins. The program, designed to create affordability, creates massive cost inefficiency. Meanwhile, market-rate housing costs have soared as inclusionary requirements add hundreds of thousands to every home purchase. Middle-class families pay extra for affordable housing that's still too expensive for middle-class families. If inclusionary housing fee escalation continues, Los Angeles faces complete inclusion failure. Picture a city where inclusion policies eliminate the middle class they're designed to include, creating a two-tier system of subsidized housing and luxury housing with nothing in between. San Jose charges over $180,000 per home in impact fees for schools, parks, traffic improvements, and affordable housing. New residents must pay for infrastructure that existing residents use but didn't fund. The fees don't even fund the services they claim to support. School impact fees go into general funds. Park fees fund maintenance instead of new parks. And affordable housing fees get spent on planning studies that never produce housing. Impact fees create perverse incentives for cities. Every new home generates huge fee revenue, but cities collect more money by threatening to block projects than by approving them. Developers pay millions in fees for the privilege of maybe getting permission to build. Tech workers moving to San Jose for $150,000 jobs can't afford $180,000 in impact fees on top of $1.4 million home prices. The fees designed to fund community services price out the community members who would use those services. The cruel irony? San Jose's impact fees fund affordable housing programs that produce housing costing $650,000 plus per unit. New residents pay impact fees to subsidize housing that's still unaffordable for new residents. If impact fee escalation continues, San Jose faces complete cost prohibition. Picture fees so high that only luxury developers can afford to build, ensuring every new home costs $2+ million regardless of construction expenses. Oakland's rent control laws limit annual rent increases to 3% to protect tenants from displacement. The unintended consequence? Landlords convert rental apartments to condos or leave units vacant, rather than deal with rent restrictions. Rental inventory has dropped by 15% since rent control implementation, while rental demand increased. The policy designed to preserve affordable rentals eliminated affordable rentals by discouraging rental housing investment. New rental construction has fallen 60% because investors won't build rentals subject to rent control restrictions. Rent control protects existing tenants while ensuring no new rental housing gets built for future tenants. Families moving to Oakland discover that rent control has created rental scarcity. Protected tenants pay below market rents, while new renters face bidding wars for the remaining units. Rent control helps some renters while crushing other renters. The math is devastating. Rent-controlled units rent for $2,200 monthly, while market-rate units rent for $3,400 monthly. The rent control premium gets paid by renters who weren't lucky enough to secure controlled units. Fremont limits new housing construction to 2,000 units annually through growth management policies designed to prevent, quote, overdevelopment. The result? Chronic housing shortages that price out working families. Growth management sounds reasonable until you realize Fremont needs 4,000 plus new homes annually to house workers at local tech facilities. Artificial growth caps create artificial scarcity that drives up housing costs. Tesla's Fremont factory employs 15,000 workers, but growth management policies prevent building housing for those workers. Factory employees commute from Stockton and Modesto because growth management made local housing unavailable. The policy designed to preserve community character has destroyed community character by pricing out teachers, firefighters, and service workers who created the community in the first place. City planners argue that faster growth would strain infrastructure, while ignoring that slow growth strains family budgets by creating housing scarcity. Growth management prioritizes government convenience over family affordability. Cupertino requires all new housing to pass architectural review by appointed boards that evaluate design compatibility with existing neighborhoods. Projects get delayed 1 to 3 years while design committees debate window styles and roof colors. A 16-unit townhouse project spent $847,000 on architectural review consultants and took 31 months to receive design approval. Every month of delay added $45,000 to final home prices through carrying costs and inflation. Architectural review boards operate with zero accountability to housing costs. They can demand unlimited design changes without considering affordability impacts. Design perfection trumps housing access. Review boards have rejected affordable housing projects for having incompatible materials, while approving architectural review becomes economic exclusion disguised as aesthetic concern. The cumulative impact. Cupertino's median home price exceeds $2.1 million, partly because architectural review adds years and hundreds of thousands in costs to every project. Design review eliminates housing affordability in the name of design quality. If architectural review expansion continues through 2026, Cupertino faces complete design paralysis. Picture housing projects abandoned because design review costs exceed construction costs, and a city where aesthetic perfection eliminated housing entirely. Beverly Hills must comply with state affordable housing mandates requiring 3,000 affordable units by 2029. The city's response? Spend $2 million fighting affordable housing requirements in court while building 0 affordable units. Beverly Hills argues that affordable housing would fundamentally alter community character, code language for keeping out working-class families. They prefer paying lawyers to building homes. The legal fees spent fighting affordable housing mandates exceed the cost of building affordable housing. Beverly Hills would rather eliminate affordability through litigation than create affordability through construction. State housing mandates sound progressive, but create perverse incentives. Cities like Beverly Hills comply by making affordable housing so expensive and complicated that none gets built. Legal compliance replaces actual housing. Meanwhile, teachers and firefighters who serve Beverly Hills commute from Riverside County because the city successfully used affordable housing laws to prevent affordable housing. If affordable housing mandate litigation continues, Beverly Hills could face state intervention, a situation where fighting housing requirements becomes more expensive than building housing, and state government takes over local housing policy. These 10 cities reveal the consistent pattern of California housing law failure. Every policy designed to help working families ends up hurting working families through unintended consequences and cost escalation. Environmental laws create more pollution by preventing dense housing. Affordable housing requirements make housing less affordable. Growth management creates housing shortages. Rent control reduces rental supply. Impact fees impact affordability. The pattern isn't accidental, it's structural. Housing laws get written by people who already own homes, designed to protect existing wealth by preventing new housing construction. Good intentions become weapons against the people policies claim to help. California's housing laws work perfectly for existing homeowners who benefit from scarcity while appearing to support policies that help working families. They get wealth protection disguised as social justice. The cruel irony: every California housing law failure gets blamed on not enough regulation, rather than too much regulation. Policy failures create demands for more policies that create more failures. What happens next? Policy destruction or community destruction? If current housing law trends continue through 2026, these 10 cities face complete community destruction. Teachers, nurses, firefighters, and working families will be completely eliminated from communities they once called home. California faces a choice: reform housing laws that destroy communities or watch communities get destroyed by housing laws. There's no middle ground when policies systematically prevent housing construction. The solution exists: eliminate zoning restrictions, streamline environmental review, end inclusionary housing requirements, eliminate impact fees, and stop rent control. Build housing like Texas and North Carolina build housing. But reform requires admitting that housing laws designed to help people actually hurt people. It requires choosing families over policies, communities over ideology, and housing over good intentions. California's housing laws are destroying communities. But laws can be changed. The question is whether California will choose community survival over policy pride. Because these 10 cities prove that good intentions aren't enough. When housing laws destroy the communities they claim to protect, the laws are the problem, not the solution.